Good evening. Um, it's really great to be here again. I'm just going to, like I did last time, just wait for a few minutes just to let people arrive, and then we'll get started with tonight's Blue Eyes Bow Ties live. Okay. Hello. It's nice to see people starting to join us. I'm going to get started in a minute. I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to get here. We're doing our live tonight on weddings. So, not just weddings, but also custom bow ties. So, I'm going to be giving some information about that as well. Hello, hi, thanks for joining us. Just going to give it a couple more minutes, then we're going to get started. Yeah, thanks for coming by and watching this Blue Eyes Bow Ties live. It's a lovely evening here in the south of the UK, so I do appreciate it if you're sitting watching this. We're going to get started in just a couple more minutes. By all means, let me know you're here. Say hello. Oh, I've had a lovely comment. Thank you, Jamie, who just said, I just wanted to say your site is where I finally learned to tie a bow tie. I've passed on what I learned to my grandson. That's just lovely. That is really, really fantastic. We're very glad that our how to tie a bow tie video helped you with that. Thank you. Oh, Jamie, hello. Hello from Wiltshire to you too. Lovely to see you. Fantastic. Um, yeah, so this evening, what we're going to be looking at is weddings. So just because we've got a few more people joining, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Helen, the owner and maker at Blue Eyes Bow Ties. Blue Eyes Bow Ties started back in 2016 when I decided that I wanted to start being more creative again, started to wanted to sew again as I had done like in the past. And Alex, my husband, encouraged me to have a go at making bow ties, pocket squares, cufflinks, which of course I really enjoyed. I really got into, and Blue Eyes Bow Ties is essentially developed from there. Everything that you see on the Blue Eyes Bow Ties website is limited edition. It's all handmade by me here in Wiltshire. So the really nice thing about a Blue Eyes Bow Ties product is that you're getting something really unique and different. Something that hopefully nobody else has got. So I also wanted to say, just before we get going, thank you very much to everyone who joined me for the last live in April, in which we went over the new bow tie collection that I had just launched. If you haven't had a chance to have a look at the collection yet, you can view that on my website, and I've just put the web address just there. So blueeyesbowties.com/collections/new. That's if you've missed that new collection, you can have a look at that there. So tonight's topic then is weddings, and whether you're going to a wedding in the next few months or in the next year or so, whether you're a guest or a member of the wedding party, there's generally quite a lot to consider when you're purchasing your accessories to wear. So when you're thinking about a bow tie or other accessory for a wedding, I think the first question you need to ask yourself is probably how formal the event's going to be. And you'll tend to get an idea of the formality of the event through the invitation itself. You'll obviously know the people whose wedding you're going to, and you really need to make that decision. Is this going to be a very formal black tie wedding, or is it going to be a more relaxed, informal event, or somewhere in between? So, if you're invited to a very formal black tie wedding, which I'm not sure how many of that type of wedding we actually have in England. I know that they're they've seen quite a lot of them in America. But if you are invited to that, then the only option really is a suit or a tuxedo, and of course a black bow tie. The bow tie would usually be made from silk. It looks very smart, it's very elegant. So if you are invited to a formal black tie wedding, a black silk bow tie, you absolutely can't go wrong with that. And of course, if you can tie your own bow tie, then definitely would recommend that rather than a pre-tied. But if you don't want to go with the standard silk, you could always take it a slightly different direction and go with a black velvet. Velvet is sort of has a decadence to it. It's very elegant, and that gives a bit of a twist to that plain black bow tie. Or you could think outside the box and still go for the black silk, but you might think of a non-standard shape. So, for example, you might want a diamond shape, a diamond point. You might think about going for one of those oversized bow ties that has that Tom Ford look. I don't know if you like those. They're quite niche. Some people like them, some people don't. Or you might want to go for the more narrow bat shaped bow tie. Now, I think the really nice thing about going for one of these different shapes is that you will still conform to a black tie dress code, but it does allow you to show off your personality a little bit in your own unique style if you have a slightly different shape. And of course, if you want to add a real wow factor to your appearance at the wedding, whether you're the groom, a guest, another member of the wedding party, you could always go with a bow tie that's black but maybe adorned with something a little bit special. So one of the bow ties that I do is a plain black silk bow tie, which has got a little, oh, it's so shiny you can barely see it, a little gold, this is a rose gold disc just in the corner there, just adds a little bit something different. I'm sorry you can't see it very well. My sister did tell me that I need to get one of those little cameras that I can show you my products with, and I didn't, so I should have done. I apologise. So that bow tie, it's the plain black. It would fit very well into a formal wedding with a tuxedo, but it's just got that little bit of extra on it. And I actually get those gold discs. They're solid gold. There's yellow gold, rose gold, and white gold, and they're made in Devon by this jeweler that I met, and he produces those for me. So it's all completely handmade and in England, which is really nice. Also, some of you may have seen, you may have one of the Swarovski bow ties. So they are the black velvet bow ties studded with the Swarovski crystals. I'm sorry I haven't got one to show you tonight. They've always been really popular, and I don't actually have any in stock at the moment. But, yeah, they're a really nice bow tie. Add a little bit of bling, and the crystals, I mean, it's not everyone's taste, but the crystals like glint in the light. It's really special. And I know, sold a few of those to grooms who've worn them to get married in, and their wedding pictures look beautiful. So that's if you were going to a really formal wedding. But nowadays, weddings are often much less formal, and people aren't as strict often with their dress codes. And that gives you a lot more freedom to play with your accessories, and in particular your bow tie. For example, floral prints are always really, really popular, particularly for summer weddings. Um, this one here, for example, it's a lovely Liberty print design. It's called, well, I call this one Wilder Flowers. Um, this one is really popular for summer weddings just because it's so vibrant, it's so pretty. And the nice thing about this is, and I'm going to talk about colours a little bit more as we go on, but it has quite a variety of colours in it, which means that it can tie in. Oh, pardon the pun. It can tie in to your wedding, maybe the colours of the bridesmaids' dresses, things like that. So it gives you quite a lot of flexibility if you've got the colours in there, particularly if you're one of the wedding party. So for less formal weddings, then you can really sort of choose how you want to look. As I said, the florals, you can pick a much wider variety of colours. You can go for any colour that you want, in essence. Textures, you might be looking at tweed fabrics, cottons, as well as your silks, and other patterns as well, such as paisley patterns. They're really, really nice. This one here, for example. I'm sorry, my lights aren't very good, Stephen. I apologise. But we've got this, a nice paisley example there. I think another thing to consider when you're attending or part of a wedding is thinking about the seasons. And that has a huge impact on, I think, what your accessories could be. In the summer, again, the lighter colours, the floral designs, the lighter fabrics, the cotton prints are all really, really appropriate for summer weddings. Whereas in the winter, we tend to think of darker colours, more indulgent, like deep paisley designs, burgundies, rich silks. And I think that's just something to bear in mind. So not only how formal is the wedding, but also the time of year of the wedding as well. And another thing to consider is your role within the wedding. So you might be a groom, you might be a guest, you might be father of the bride, you might be the bride. You could play any role in this wedding, and that is going to have a bit of an impact on what your bow tie and accessories could look like. So if you're part of the wedding party, let's say you're the groom, a really nice idea is to either match or contrast with the colour palette of the wedding. If, for example, your palette is based around lavender, which is a really, really popular colour for weddings this year, then you're either going to want to match that with your bow tie or pick a colour that really complements that. Equally, you could go for something in the flowers. Pick one of the colours of the flowers that particularly appeals to you, something in the decorations. I know a lot of people who like to choose a bow tie that matches, for example, with the bridesmaids' dresses. That's nice to do. I just think with a wedding, it's nice to bring the various colours and elements of the wedding together to create a nice balance. I love weddings, that are kind of random and everyone's wearing something different. I think that's lovely as well. But if you're looking for sort of a nice, visual impact, I think sort of to balance those colours and to get an overall look, it's really good to tie your accessories in with that colour palette that you've chosen for the day. If you're a guest at the wedding, obviously you might not have any idea what the colour scheme of that wedding is going to be. It's sometimes quite cute to match with your partner's clothing or accessories. You sometimes see someone wearing a bow tie that matches the colour of their partner's handbag or shoes or something. It's quite a cute thing to do. You could also match your bow tie with your socks. I've seen a few people do that, which again is quite sweet. What I would say though is just be aware that if your suit is anything but black, then make sure you're picking your accessories that really complement or contrast with it. Try to avoid a clash of colours and patterns. So if you have you know, you can get these very elaborate sort of patterned or checked suits. If you decide to go for that, they're fantastic. But maybe a plain bow tie, picking out the colours from the suit. You don't want to look too busy or mismatched. I don't know, maybe you do. I don't like to tell anybody what to do really, but I just think, you know, to create a nice complete look, it's good to sort of tie little bits in together and not sort of be too mismatched. I've talked sort of a fair bit so far about colour, and one of the things that I've been talking about is, you know, contrasting or complementary colours, and I've actually got a colour wheel here just to show you exactly what I mean. So when you're looking for colours that are going to go with each other well, you're thinking about this colour wheel and going for opposite colours. So for example, I struggle here because my camera's mirror image. Let's have a think. So you can see you've got red at the top here, and at the bottom, your contrasting colour of green, like a complementary colour. So you know that those two are going to look well together, whereas red and orange, they're too close together on this colour spectrum, and they're going to, more likely, they're going to clash. So just be aware, thinking about the colours that you're going for, and if they were on the colour wheel, would they be opposite each other, which is going to work, or were they going to be next to each other, which is less likely to work? And there are different ways of combining colours as well. For example, it's often nice, and I'll just turn that over for you. It's often nice, you know, if you go for one deep colour and then you go for a lighter tone within that to contrast with it. So if you went for a nice bright blue, you could have a paler blue that would look nice against that. So, you know, just thinking kind of creatively about colours and what colours are going to look nice with each other, and you're sort of guaranteed to come out with a good looking combination of accessories and suit. So I also wanted just to talk to you a little bit about fabrics themselves, and I mentioned some fabrics earlier that are good for weddings. Now, obviously, a wedding is a very special event, and most people only aim to get married once in their lives, and so they like to make the most of the day, and they like it to be really special. And I think one fabric that definitely screams how special it is obviously silk. And so a lot of the bow ties that I make for weddings, people do request silk. And the silk that I use is called, it's Dupion silk. It is a, Alex has just popped in to look through the bow tie cupboard.
You got both of them.
Oh, right. Apparently I had his bow ties in the bow tie cupboard and he's been looking for them. Apologies.
That's fine.
Sorry about that.
I shall show them off in a minute.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Alex will be back. The silk, yes, Dupion. It's a really nice textured silk. A lot of people, when we think of silk, we think of that really soft, flowy silk, which is just impossible to make a bow tie from. It's too light, and even with lining and interfacing, it never looks right. So I went for a silk that I know makes really nice, sturdy, soft, if that's possible. It's a bit of both, bow ties. And for example, got this beautiful marigold yellow, I think this one is. Sort of Dupion bow tie, just to give you an example there. And I can get hold of this silk in, I'm not sure how many colours are on here, but I'm just going to quickly run this by. So this is the colour card that I use when people are looking to get bow ties made, and you can see here's a huge variety of colours, pretty much something for anybody in there. So do consider when you're getting a bow tie, you know, particularly obviously if it's your wedding, do consider a silk bow tie. They're beautiful, they're quality, you can really see the quality in the fabric, and they do come in a huge variety of colours. So if you've got a colour scheme for your wedding, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to find the silk version of that colour. He's back.
And talking of silk, thought I'd go a bit rogue for this one because last summer was very hot, and I thought I'll get the linen short sleeve out paired with the silk. So you could, if you were bold enough, try this kind of combo.
And you've got shorts on.
Yeah, but they can't see
that. Even more
they're a
bold.
chino, as you can see, or not.
A chino short.
Silk, even with a short sleeve linen shirt, this is nice and light for the summer. So you can even pair it with a short sleeve if you want to go that way. Bit unconventional, but that's what we like here at Blue Eyes Bow Ties.
Yeah, and our wedding was very relaxed, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but Alex didn't wear any neckwear at all. We decided it was open shirt collar, didn't we, for you? It had a beautiful blue linen suit and a pink floral Liberty print shirt. Yeah, it worked well, but some people, even in, you know, height of summer weddings, still want that formality of a bow tie, and why not pair it with a short sleeve shirt?
Absolutely. So I chose the silk if you're a groom or the groom's men or
member of the wedding party. Yeah.
But I've got another tie which might be for someone just wanting to wear something a bit different for the wedding in my pocket. So I'm gonna try that one on.
You're gonna go for that? Okay, excellent. He'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we've had a look at the silks, and what I'm just going to quickly mention to you now is don't forget those other accessories, because I have very much focused on the bow ties so far, but of course a pocket square, a pair of cufflinks also make for a really lovely accessory. And if you were going to a wedding and you didn't want to wear a bow tie or a tie, for example, you could then make a real statement with your pocket square and your cufflinks. So do just be aware of those options if you didn't necessarily want to wear the bow tie, or of course if you wanted to combine the bow tie with the pocket square. Now there are different rules of thinking on combining bow ties and pocket squares. There are people out there, plenty of people out there, who think you should not have the same colour or pattern bow tie and pocket square, and equally there's those people out there who think a matching bow tie and pocket square is great, and I don't have a preference. I think it's absolutely great whatever you choose to wear. However, if you do decide to go for a different bow tie and pocket square, you must follow some rules really, because if you mix and match patterns or you pick colours that don't complement each other, it's just not going to look good. It's just going to look a bit mismatched and a bit messy. So do make sure when you're combining your bow tie and your pocket square, if they aren't the same design, do think about a patterned bow tie and a plain pocket square, or vice versa. A darker tone of bow tie, a lighter tone of pocket square in the same colour but different shade. These are just some things to think about. And one of the I guess the most important pieces of advice that I would give you is don't leave it too late to learn how to tie your bow tie. Okay, if you're going for the self-tie bow tie, please don't leave it till the morning of your wedding to learn how to tie it, or the morning of the wedding if you're going to a friend or family member's wedding. It's not going to come out well, and you want that bow tie to look perfect on the day. please spend some time learning how to tie the bow tie. And I've actually put the link on the screen there to our how to tie a bow tie video.
Or you can go to the YouTube Blue Eyes Bow Ties YouTube channel if that's easier.
I'm going to actually put the links in the chat so you can click on them if you want to. Let's put that one up there. So this one was the link to the new collection that I was talking about earlier. And
thanks, Jamie. I tried.
Yeah, that video, my goodness. Here's a link to the video. Yeah, and it's a 15-minute video, isn't it? It's in depth. Do spend some time, watching it, pausing it, going through the steps. But I pretty much guarantee that if you watch that video from start to finish, and you take your time, you will absolutely learn how to tie a bow tie. I'd say it's guaranteed.
Bit of practice.
Mm-hmm. So
I didn't know how to tie a bow tie before Helen made bow ties. I was just trying to improve the lighting because it looks a little dark, but this is a different kind of combination of bow tie. If you're looking for something a little bit different for any kind of event that maybe doesn't require you to be absolutely 100% formal and wearing kind of the silk bow ties, I've got a nice. This is the Lions bow tie, but yeah, lots of different designs that you could wear. Floral's going to be big this summer, I'm sure, along with some of the brighter, vibrant colours, because Viva Magenta, which is the colour of the season, is a very vibrant colour. So maybe there'll be others like that. Have you shown? Well, the Viva Magenta is one I've just worn. Check that one out. Not sure about this colour on me, but it seems to be washing me out.
No,
but,
you come and have a look at the light then.
But I'm very pale anyway.
Yeah. So as I was saying then, and thanks Jamie for the comment on the video. I'm really glad that you like that video. The worst thing for me is seeing those bow ties that look like strangled dishcloth around your neck. Right, they're pulled so tight, and there's this tiny little knot in the middle. And I think part of that is just taking your time, learning how to tie that bow tie properly, being quite gentle, not panicking if it doesn't go right the first time. And that's essentially why you should not be learning to tie your bow tie on your wedding day. Okay, so do give yourself a bit of time to learn.
It's lit up the background a little better so that you can see what I'm wearing. This doesn't look too bad, does it?
It goes well actually with the lion bow tie with the linen shirt. I think that's nice. And I think that looks really nice with your tailored shorts.
I think you can still go quite nicely dressed in the hot weather. So yeah, a nice linen shirt with even short sleeve, which often if you pair it with ties and bow ties, it doesn't look right. But I think this kind of look could be good. And I actually think that if you're wearing a linen shirt, that a bow tie would be much more appropriate than a tie. I think a tie with a short sleeve. I prefer a bow tie.
It looks nice and quirky. I like it. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. What's next?
Oh yeah, well next then we're going to go on to custom orders, because a lot of wedding bow ties do require a custom order, because obviously you're looking for something very specific. It's usually a colour palette that you're following. So I just wanted to go through with you how the custom order process works, and obviously that's just the same for if you were looking for a regular bow tie as a wedding bow tie. So one of the first things to do then is obviously get in touch with me. And I've got the page on my website, the contact us page, that you can contact me through. I've also got a form on the custom bow tie page that you can fill in to let me know a little bit more about what you want. So when you're thinking about your wedding bow ties, first of all, it's good to have an idea of the colour or pattern that you're looking for. Just as a bit of a word of warning, if you are looking for a silk, it is likely that I can only get hold of plain silks. Dupion silks don't usually come in patterns, so it would be a plain. However, if you're looking for something different, if you're happy to have a cotton bow tie, then this opens up a whole, a whole world of other patterns and designs, particularly Liberty Print. They do some beautiful fabrics which make excellent wedding bow ties. Once you've got an idea then of the... Why are you smiling?
I think my eye looks closed in my eyes. It just looks a bit strange. It's not closed. I am fully awake and I haven't fallen asleep.
Good. Have you had a drink yet?
Of water.
You had a cocktail last time. No?
Yes?
Yes.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, where was I? Custom bow
orders.
ties, custom orders. Yeah. So you've thought about your colour, you've thought about your pattern, if you want a pattern. That's something that I definitely need to know. How many do you want and what do you want? So do you want self-tie bow ties, pre-tied bow ties, pocket squares, cufflinks? Do you want those for adults? Do you want them for children? Because I can make children's bow ties and pocket squares as well. Having to think about the fabrics. If you're very set on silk, then remember, it's probably just going to be the plain silks that I can get hold of. And once you've sent me that information, what I'll do is get back to you and I'll give you an idea of what I can get. And I work with a really, really lovely firm who provide the silk, and they're excellent. They're really quick at sending out samples. So what I like to do is, if you're colour matching with something, particularly if it's like the bridesmaids' dresses or the flowers, something like that, it's really important that you get a sample of the fabric so that you can make sure it matches exactly what you want it to match. So I send out those samples, and up to 6 samples I'm happy to send out free of charge so that you can see which ones you like the best. And then once you've decided on the fabric, then I get basically started, and I make your bow ties, pocket squares, cufflinks, whatever you like, and obviously get them sent out to you. And there is a bit of a lead time with wedding bow ties because I do usually have to order in fabric. So please give yourself, I was going to say, if you're in the UK, at least a month. Obviously, if you do need something last minute, it's always worth getting in touch with me. I can always try and pull some strings, but there is obviously, the post takes a certain amount of time to get here, and for orders and things. What were you going to say?
Pull some threads, I was going to say.
Pull some.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah. So with those custom bow ties, and particularly, if you're abroad, then really 8 weeks is what I need. And if I'm sending you samples, then probably a little bit longer than that. We do want to get it perfect for that big day. So just some thoughts then on the pros of wearing a bow tie to a wedding as a guest. I think although bow ties are sort of more popular than ever really at the moment, I think a bow tie can still make you stand out in a crowd. They're a very good choice for both formal and casual weddings. Remember, for the formal weddings, you can wear the black tie, the black silk, the black velvet, but then you can really go to town at those less formal weddings with the floral designs, with the colours, with the different patterns and prints. And I think a bow tie really allows you, therefore, to make a statement. And certainly from Blue Eyes Bow Ties, there's a lot of different shapes and styles and fabrics that you can pick from. So you can really choose a bow tie, an accessory to sort of fit with your personality. A bow tie is also excellent if, like, when teamed with, a waistcoat, for example. It can look really, really smart with a waistcoat and a jacket as well. And I think likewise, there's quite a few pros of what for wearing a bow tie as the groom. Bow ties are made to impress. They are fancy, and you're going to look fabulous in a bow tie. It makes again a statement, very classy. Also, one thing that people often like to do at weddings, if it's a groom with groomsmen, then the groom might wear a bow tie and his groomsmen might wear ties, or vice versa. And that's something nice, just to allow the groom to stand out from the groomsmen wearing the same fabric, but either in a bow tie or a tie, different to the groomsmen. And I think, as well as I said at the beginning, the bow tie and your accessories can be used to really tie the wedding together and bring everything sort of into a nice, just beautiful kind of rounded colour palette, everything working together. So I hope I've given you some ideas or inspiration for your wedding bow tie, or whether you're going as a member of the wedding party or whether you're a guest. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have on that. If you want to see any other bow ties or any of the fabrics that I've got, just let me know. But otherwise, do obviously get in touch if you're looking for a custom commission, custom bow tie, and I'd be more than happy to work with you on that to try and find your perfect accessory. So thank you so much for watching. It's been great to have you here for this talk tonight, and I'm just going to sort of hover around just for a minute or two if anyone has any questions. But other than that, have a lovely evening, and I will see you again maybe next month for another live. If you've got any topics that you'd like me to cover, it'd be great to hear from you. I'd love to cover some topics. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate you being here. It's really lovely. And Alex, are you coming in to say cheerio?
Cheerio.
Or the bow tie's off?
Yeah, I've done my performance for tonight.
Yeah, your performance. Anyone eagle-eyed out there might have spotted Buster up behind me here.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do it with the mirror image.
Did that on purpose, obviously.
Oh, right. And Buster is wearing something special. Buster has actually got his very own Blue Eyes bow tie, which I may be launching soon. I'm not sure if anyone would be interested in it. Let me know if you'd be interested in a Blue Eyes bow tie.
It's basically got the logo of Blue Eyes bow ties.
Yeah.
On the fabric.
I'm not bringing it down yet. I'm still sort of working on it. It's still experimenting and getting my own fabrics printed so that it would allow me to create, even better custom orders, because I could make fabrics for you so you can, have on that bow tie whenever you want, basically. So that's something that I'm currently working on. So watch this space. Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's lovely to see you here this evening, and thank you for those of you who got into the chat. And yeah, it is, Jamie. Thank you. Yeah, a bow tie, a bow.
That's the name.
Maybe I've taken it too far. I don't know. What? Should I get it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me watch it, because he's a bit unstable at the moment. There he is. Let's see. Yeah, we just about make it out. I think that's quite nice. I was thinking of maybe doing one on black. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a black one and the white one as well. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Right, we're going to leave it there. Let you crack on with your evenings. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy the fine weather if you've got it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.